enough students out there for everyone. I don't care what anybody says. If you are designing classes that are true and authentic to you and that you can deliver, because that is the most important part. You have to be able to deliver. Have you struggled with finding your niche on Outschool? Are you currently struggling with bookings? So first, I want to talk about how I found my niche on Outschool, and then I'm going to share 4 tips to help you find your niche on Outschool and increase your bookings. Hey, I'm Cassie, an ESL and online teacher of 4 years. I have been balancing motherhood and online teaching for the last 4 years, and it has grown and evolved so much since then. I first started teaching online as a way to be at home with my daughter Scarlett more, who is now 3, and it has changed and evolved so much since then. Sound familiar? Hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, or follow me on Instagram, where I share like my daily teaching journey and more personal stuff. And don't forget to hit the little bell below to be notified of new videos in the future. And friends, I'm not gonna lie, I'm definitely filming this video and balancing my 5-month-old son. So you may hear some baby sounds in the background. We're moms and we gotta do what we can, right? We gotta make time where there isn't time. Because if we were to wait for the perfect moment, we would never accomplish anything. So let's get right into it. Here is how I found my niche on Outschool. So I originally thought my niche was gonna be something around storytime classes and books. My first class, and to be honest, this is still my second most popular class, is based on a book called I Like Myself by Karen Beaumont. Now, I love reading this book to my daughter. I think it is so empowering. It is so beautiful. Every time I read it, I feel better. So I knew instantly going in that this was going to be my first book that I was going to use in my classes. These classes did really well. So basically the way a storytime class worked for me was I did a PowerPoint lesson, I shared the screen, and then I shared the story that way. And I know this book by heart, so I was able to recite it and play it out as I was teaching. So we would read the book throughout class, and then at the end of the class, we would discuss all the reasons why we loved ourselves, and then we would draw a self-portrait. It was so much fun. I will leave a link down below if anybody is interested in checking out this class. To me, storytime lessons were like a definite because I love storytelling. I love reading books. I love everything about books. It has been one of my passions for a very, very long time. And I originally thought my niche was going to be based in books. But as time went on and the classes weren't getting consistently booked, I was like, okay, I need to find something different. And maybe a month after I started teaching this first class, I was looking for preschool classes for my 3-year-old daughter. And what I found in those classes was that there were no Pokemon preschool classes. I found some really cool middle school aged classes called Pokemon Paragraphs, and I was like, ooh, this is super sick. This looks really interesting. But this isn't going to work for my 3-year-old. So after watching her take a couple of preschool classes, I was convinced I knew that I could create a preschool Pokemon class. And at the time, my daughter and I were practicing letter sounds. This was like hardcore into the pandemic. We couldn't even go to the park. So we would literally walk to a church nearby and I would write the alphabet for her and she would hopscotch and practice the letter sounds. And that is really what gave me the idea for Pokemon Phonics. I was like, oh my gosh, I definitely think I could teach kids the letter sounds through Pokemon. And it could be so fun. And I knew my daughter would totally love something like that. All right, guys. So my number 1 tip to finding your niche on Outschool and increasing your bookings is to pick one specific age group to market to. When I first started designing classes on Outschool, my lessons were all over the place. I had storytime classes for younger students. I had book clubs for older students. It was just everywhere. And I think that was part of the reason why I struggled to get started, because my clients didn't really know what to expect from me. And don't get me wrong, my storytime lessons did extremely well, but I just wasn't getting booked consistently like I wanted to. So I think it is super important to pick one age group and market directly towards that one age group. So my Pokemon Phonics class is designed for 3, 4, and maybe 5-year-olds. That is the age group that I just do really well with. I'm really good at connecting with younger children. So as my career continues with Outschool, I will most likely try to grow with my students and design some sort of kindergarten Pokemon class to follow up the current class that I have. So my second tip for finding your niche on Outschool to increase your bookings is to do a lot of research. So once you pick the particular age group that you want to teach, you need to research and find out what kinds of classes are really popular in that age group. So personally, when I was researching like classes and trying to design classes, I found this really awesome class called Pokemon Paragraphs. I was like, ooh, that looks super cool. But you know, my daughter's 3. She can't do a Pokemon Paragraph class. But that gave me an idea. That's part of the way I got my idea, is I was like, wait, I could totally make a cool Pokemon class, and I can make it for 3 or 4-year-olds. Yes. I created a class and designed a lesson plan that would help in building pre-reading skills and focus on phonics. It is important to research, but never copy someone else's class. We all put a lot of work into our classes. Stay authentic and the right students will come to you. All right, tip number 3 for finding your niche on Outschool and increasing your bookings is to use your real life passions. Why does my child love Pokemon? Because I love Pokemon. And what I found in most of my classes is that my kids' parents love Pokemon too. Most of the time, the stuffed animals that my kids are bringing to class belongs to one of their parents. I have loved Pokemon ever since I was a kid, and trust me, back in 1999, it was not cool for girls to be into Pokemon. It was something that I kept to myself and did at home and didn't share with my friends at school. I remember when Pokemon wasn't even on cable, it was just on the regular TV. I liked Pokemon before it was cool for girls, before you could even choose a female option. It was made for boys, you know? I know my lime green Game Boy Color and my blue version are still somewhere in my parents' garage. Comment down below if you have any idea what the heck blue version is. If you're not passionate about what you're teaching, why would your students be passionate about learning? How can you take something that you love and create a class out of it? If you know a child in real life that is in your age group that you're marketing to, create a class that they would like. An easy example is how I designed my Pokemon Phonics class. I really specifically made that class for my daughter. When I designed it, I really thought about how she would look at the screen and what would engage her and what would keep her interested throughout class. I actually even have Pokemon movement cards for class when the kids get really bored, because they're 3 and 4. They can sit and stare at a screen for 30 minutes, but you know, I want to get them moving. I want to get them excited. I want to get them really ecstatic to learn. I noticed that my daughter was getting bored with the lesson plans because I would always show them to her before I would teach them to my students. So I introduced Pokemon movement cards, and those have been a huge success in class. Some of the kids don't even like to do certain things, but I have a card specific to that where if they don't want to be on camera jumping like Pikachu, they can hide under the camera, and they can, it is hide like Diglett. And the kids love that. Take your real life passions and create something from it. And I promise you, the right students are totally going to find you. All right, so we've come to tip number 4. Tip number 4 for finding your niche on Outschool and increasing your bookings is to stay positive and stay consistent. If at first you don't succeed, try, and try. And fall, and then get up and try again, because at some point you are going to create a good class. Your first class may not be a huge success, and that is totally okay. All we can do is take what we learned from each class and try to make something better next time. If it's only one student, teach that one student. Practice. Stay positive, stay consistent. If you stay positive and you stay consistent, I promise the right students are going to find you. You never actually know which class is going to be the class that is going to give you all of those bookings. There are enough students out there for everyone. I don't care what anybody says. If you are designing classes that are true and authentic to you and that you can deliver, because that is the most important part. You have to be able to deliver. You can come up with the coolest marketing ad, the coolest thumbnail, all the best things, but if you can't deliver in those lessons, then none of that means anything. You have to stay passionate and you have to stay consistent. If you'd like to see more stuff like this, make sure to follow me on Instagram at CassieLeanne.co. If you want help with your Outschool application or even creating lesson plans, please send me a message on Instagram. Comment down below. I would love to get to know you better and help you out. I feel like one-time classes are an excellent place to start. However, if you want to achieve true freedom on Outschool, eventually you're going to have to venture out and learn the difference between an ongoing class, a one-time class, a multi-day class, and a flex class. Make sure to check out next week's video where I'll be breaking down the 4 different types of Outschool classes. Your first class on Outschool probably won't be perfect, and that is okay. But the best part about teaching on Outschool is that the possibilities are literally endless. Your first class doesn't have to be perfect, because after you test it out, you can explore and you can try new things. Remember, the riches are in the niches. You just have to find what works for you. Stay passionate, stay authentic, and stay true. And I know that you are going to attract the perfect students to your Outschool classroom. Don't forget to check out next week's video where I talk all about the 4 different types of Outschool classes. Thank you for stopping by. Bye, guys.